What could Barry Manilow possibly teach you about having a great impact in the world and being a great leader? That's a great question, and I'm going to answer it for you in this video. Look, I get it. If you're under 50, or if you just prefer like thrashing guitars and screaming vocals, you probably want nothing to do with Barry Manilow. And you've got to give the guy props. I mean, in his day, in his genre, he ruled, like outsold pretty much everyone. And still, his music, not just in his popular music, but his advertising lives on. I am stuck on Band-Aid because Band-Aid stuck on me. That's his. And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. That was his jingle. He's prolific. And today, at age 80, he still tours. And when he does tour, he sells out stadiums of 15, 20, 30,000 people. In fact, I know this because somebody gave us tickets. Good thing they gave us tickets because it was sold out. And the guy at age 80 had people singing along with him, just like rocking the place. And that's not all. He's still creating music, musicals, all sorts of things. In his world, he is still super relevant. And even if you hate the guy and his music, here's where it starts to get relevant for you. It was in retrospect that he realized what one of the things was that made him so successful as a songwriter and singer of popular music. But while he recognized it in retrospect, now we can take it and help you start to apply it proactively. Hi, it's David, and welcome to the Leadership Library. For people like you, the first to see a better outcome that's possible or a better way to get there. And you're willing to do the hard work and face the resistance to bring it to life. The ideas in this video are so straightforward, we don't even need a whiteboard. So let's get started. In 2009, the Clio Awards celebrated its 50th anniversary. The Clio Awards are given to recognize the best work in advertising each year. And that year they also presented Barry Manilow with an honorary Clio for his work as a jingle writer and a singer in the 1960s in the advertising industry. So when he accepted his award, he said that he learned the most about making pop music by working for 3 or 4 years in the industry as a writer, writing jingles. So there, did you catch it? The lesson that he took away that we can all use proactively, he only learned it in retrospect. He had this immersive experience of doing something in a very concentrated way for a short period of time that seemed irrelevant or tangential to what he actually wanted to do, to be a pop singer and write music. And that was one of the things that made him the best at what he actually wanted to do, even though at the time he probably had no clue that this was going to be useful. So I'm going to call that lesson that he took away is having an immersive experience or an immersion that seems irrelevant or at least tangential at the time you're doing it. Great, so let's jump in so you can see how you can start to apply this for yourself right away. First, I'm just going to share with you some real-world examples of people who've already done this, who've had an immersive experience that seemed irrelevant or sort of tangential to what they really wanted and how it really paid off for them in a surprising way. Second, I want to help you see that it's probably, I can almost promise that you've actually already done this yourself, and to help you recognize that that actually happened for you. And then third, let's help you, see how you can start to apply it deliberately. I once worked with a person named Alan. Alan worked in a support service in the organization, middle manager. And one day I needed to observe a conversation he was having with some very senior executives. And speaking to senior executives at their level is not an easy thing for people to learn to do. And I watched in awe as Alan just stuck it. I mean, he delivered the right message at the right level in a relevant way for these executives, speaking to them right at their level. And afterwards I said, wow, I mean, I've had to work with people much more senior with you, that work in the business lines to help them do what you just did. How did you do that? He says, you know what, I worked as a reporter for a few years, and every day I had to write stuff, and I always had to figure out what the core message was and put it into a way that people could get it really quickly. So he had that seemingly irrelevant that experience years before that now that he works in business pays off for him all the time. And then there's Sarah. In college, Sarah needed a job to help pay for things. But she couldn't take a daytime job because she was an engineering student and she was always having to attend extra labs and things like that. So she took an evening job as a front desk clerk at a hotel. And this hotel was part of a national chain that was known for its impeccable customer service. And when do you get the worst customers of all? In the middle of the night. So in a very focused way, Sarah had to hone these customer service skills with some of the most difficult customers on the planet. And then now, today, she is known for being able to serve customers so well. In fact, she runs the customer service area for a massive organization, Fortune 500 company. She has tens of thousands of people working in her organization. Again, a very focused experience that seemed to have nothing to do with what she needed, ended up being something that was most valuable to her today. But here is the very best example of all, you. Think of your own experience. What's something that you're known for being exceptional at? And I can almost promise you that there was a time of intense learning where you were learning this skill, maybe not realizing, or this way of looking at things that at the time may have seemed irrelevant or completely tangential to what you do today. But now it's the thing that people come to you for, that they think of, when they think of that category, they think of you as the best of all. And yet you may have never set out to learn that. Is this familiar? All of these examples so far are past tense. It's somebody who now realizes that this intensive experience was really valuable, but at the time it just seemed like it was irrelevant or tangential to what they were actually doing. But what if you were to do it consciously and proactively? Here are some examples of people who are doing that. Like this person or not, you cannot deny that Elon Musk has done some amazing things with SpaceX. But 20 years ago, he knew next to nothing about astrophysics. So he decided, in a really intensive way, to teach himself. And he also got mentors, of course. But now he is the founder of SpaceX, the premier rocket company in the world, from a person who knew zero about it 20 years ago. That's called proactively having that intensive learning experience. We have a friend named Scott Mann. Scott's a retired Green Beret. Scott was, when he left the military, he wanted to become a better storyteller, but then he was inspired to write a play about his experience and those of his peers and their families, to not only honor them, but to educate civilians on the true cost of war. So he started studying writing, became a playwright. He studied to be an actor. He actually acts in the play that he wrote, Last Out. And you can check it out at this website on the screen. It's still on tour. But because of those skills, he also is not only an amazing actor. He testified to Congress this past year about the experience of veterans when the Western forces pull out of Afghanistan. He also has spoken on every major TV news network about the same thing. And tell me that those skills that he developed as a playwright and actor aren't useful to him. But even I'm having this deliberate experience myself. These videos that I'm sharing with you, this is number 41. My commitment is to produce a minimum of 108 in a row every week to share with you. But it's already coming back to me. I'm already learning things about my own work and what I want to do more of and what I want to do less of, how to more clearly articulate things. And I'm pretty certain that there are some things that these videos are going to teach me that I don't even know yet, that the learning will come back to me. But I'm committing to the immersive learning experience, because I know that not only will you benefit, but I'm going to benefit as well. And now, for the most important part of this entire video. Everything I've said up to this point is to help you realize that you can do the same. What about you? What can you proactively start to engage in? Maybe you will see a very direct correlation. I want to learn this because it'll help me do this better. Or maybe it's just something that you have passion for that will seem tangential or irrelevant to the things that you really want to have impact on. That doesn't matter, because it's going to come back to you somehow. You know, is there something that you really, really want to dive into? It could be a hobby. It could be a project off the side of your desk. It could be meditation. I have a client who's just learning to do nothing so that he can realize that the world and his business will keep spinning without him. Maybe it's farming or knitting or music or volunteering somewhere. I don't care what it is. If you have passion for it, Commit to it in an immersive way, which essentially means you need to do a little bit of it. You need to be thinking about it or talking about it or doing some piece of it pretty much every day so it's always spinning in the back of your head. That doesn't mean hours a day. It can be 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute if that's all you have to do it a little bit, but you do it regularly and it will start to change your mindset. It will build your skill set, and who knows how or when, unless you're actually doing it deliberately like Elon Musk did, it's somehow going to come back and pay you back in the process. And you're doing it just because you like it. How about that for a great idea? So we know, thanks to Barry Manilow, that this thing can work. You focus on something that may seem irrelevant and you give it your best. And someday, probably not as far in the future as you think, it will come back to you in the best of ways. I cannot wait to hear how this lands with you, and I'll see you in the next video.